All right, muchachos, this video we're going to talk about how to conjugate verbs that end in AR. We talked about this word before, conjugate. That's where we're changing the verb so it now agrees with the subject. Okay, so if we don't conjugate a verb, in Spanish it's going to end up like, for example, the verb hablar. That translates to talk, right? So if you just say this, we have no idea who's talking, when they were talking. It doesn't make any sense. But if you change it to hablo, that means I talk. So we conjugated the verb hablar to hablo, and now we know who it is and when it is. So it's I'm the one who's talking, and it's right now. Okay, we'll get into more of like the past tense and the future tense and the conditional. We'll get into more tenses later. But for right now, let's just figure out how to change these verbs so we can say that different people are doing things. Okay? All right, 3 steps here. Numero uno. We're just doing the AR. So let's say numero uno is remove the AR. So we're going to take off that 2-letter ending. Okay? And so when we do that, we have the stem. That's the stem, or some people call it the root of the verb. I like to call it the stem because later on in this book we have stem changing verbs. So that makes more sense. If you already know what the stem is, then you know we got to change it. Okay. Numero dos. The whole point of conjugating a verb is to change it so that it matches or agrees with the subject. All right. So let's numero dos. We got to identify the subject. Kind of doesn't make any sense if we're trying to change a verb to match the subject and we don't even know which subject it is. Okay? Or who the subject is. All right. And then numero tres. Add appropriate. Is that 2 P's? Okay, that looks weird. Ending. Okay, appropriate means it's the one that agrees with the subject. All right. Okay, so those are my 3 steps. So if you want to pause it and write those down, then I'm going to show you, we're going to do a little chart that has the endings on there, and then I'll give you some examples. Okay? All right, so let's do the endings. So these are AR verb endings. Okay, again, we do our little chart, same little chart we always do, right? So if I'm talking about myself, my ending will be O. That's what I'm going to add to the stem. Okay, because remember I already took off the AR. So let's go back to hablar again. So there's my verb, my infinitive, which means to talk. So if I remove the AR, I have hable. That's my stem. And then if I add the O to the end, now I just said I talk. So the stem tells me the action. This tells me the verb. It's talking. And then this tells me who and when. So I know it's me, I, and then it's happening right now. So I talk, okay? But if I put a different ending on there, let's say I'm not talking anymore. Let's say you talk. Why don't you talk? Right? So I'm going to put a different ending on there. So for the to form, it's as. Let's do the rest of these. And the L or A is a. Nosotros is amos. And ellos and ustedes is on. So if we come up here and I add hablamos, I add amos to the end, we still know it's talk. My verb hasn't changed. But now we have a different who. And that would be we talk. So hablamos means we talk. Okay? Okay. I feel like I should pause and answer any questions, but all right. That's AR verbs. Remove the 2-letter ending, and then you're going to add one of these endings to the stem. Okay, right out in here. And again, it's not just random. You have to pick the ending of who it is that's talking. Okay, but again, this will work for any of the AR verbs, the regular AR verbs like buscar. So if you have buscar, to look for, again, my stem is busc, and then I would just add O if I'm looking, buscas, busca, buscamos, buscan. So I can add any one of these endings depending on who's looking for it. Okay? All right. And you have quite a few AR verbs on your vocab. You know, you have enseñar, llegar, necesitar, sacar una buena nota, tomar apuntes, usar la computadora. So there's quite a few of them on there. And again, just take off the AR and add one of your endings for whoever it is you're trying to say is doing that thing. All right.